All right, guys. So this is 2.2 notes. So Miss Neff and myself taught the last set of notes, and those were talking about one-step equation where you use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division to solve for x. So we are looking at it a little differently today. We have something called two-step equations. So this is gonna take us at least two steps in order to solve for that variable. All right. So there is one important thing to remember when solving for x. So we have solving for two-step equations follow the same rules as solving one-step equations, but we need to perform the opposite operation. So we must remember to do order of operations. We got to do them backwards, actually. So this kind of goes against everything we've done before. So we're actually going to do addition and subtraction first. So we're actually going to do SADMEP. Okay. SADMEP. All right, but yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it backwards. So we're doing subtraction and addition first, and then if there's any multiplication and multiplication and division, we do that next. So let's look at a problem. So last week you had problems that looked very similar to this, but the 5 would be covered up, and you'd have a problem that said just x minus 3 equals 12. We're going to start this problem the exact same way as you just read that. The difference is we have something that said 5x minus 3. And notice they are touching, so that is multiplication that's going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to do any subtraction or addition first. We have a subtraction right here. So we do the inverse of that. We do the opposite of that. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So we're going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. All right. And then these cancel out nicely right there. We bring down our 5x. And then that equals 15. So we got 12 plus 3, which is 15. Now, typically, we were able to stop here because the x was isolated. We always want to isolate our variable. In this situation, our variable is not by itself yet. We have to do the inverse, the opposite of 5 times x. Well, what is the opposite of multiplication? Well, that is division. So now I actually need to do my two-step problem now is divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and we do want 1x left, positive 1x. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3, and that is our answer. Now we can always double check our answer by doing 5 times 3. 5 times 3, which is 15, minus 3. Does that equal 12? It sure does. So we are good to go. That is a true statement. So that was a two-step problem. So now let's look at another one. The big difference is this one includes a fraction. All right. So we're going to do that one a little differently, but still it's not a lot going on. All right. So now we're going to look at one of these problems. So we're going to start with, again, do we have any subtraction or addition? Well, we have addition right here. So we're going to undo that by doing the opposite of it. And the opposite of a positive 6 is a negative 6, or subtraction 6. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. We're going to be left with 5/3 x, 5/3 times x equals, and then we have to do 30 minus 6. 30 minus 6 is 24. All right. So now we have a multiplication problem here. All right. So we have 5/3 times x. So the opposite of multiplication still is division. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 5/3. All right, this might look funky here. We're going to divide this by 5/3. But still very doable. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my calculator so you guys can see this. We're going to do 24 divided by 5/3. All right, so it looks a little bit like that in your calculator. You got 24 divided by, and then 5. I hit the ABC button that's right there, the ABC button, and get 5/3. And then when you get that, you get 14th and 2/5. 14th and 2/5. And that would be our final answer right there. All right, now that's a good one to check, to put back into your problem. So I would take, 5/3 of my calculator, 5 ABC3, parentheses, and then put in that 14 and 2/3. Okay, 14 and 2/5, and then plus 6. And you go ahead and you see that we get 30. So that's a really good example of one that actually plug back in, because it might not look correct at first. And that's all we do. All right, so now we actually have x divided by 3. So unlike these two, which were multiplication, this one is x divided by 3 plus 7 equals 9. Go ahead and subtract 7 from both sides. All right, that will leave us with x over 3. X over is divided by, right? X over 3 equals 2. Right? So now this is division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 3 by both sides here. Again, you're doing whatever Miss Knapp taught in her lesson, what I taught in my lesson. We're just putting those into one problem. So these go ahead and cancel out. We are left with x. And on this side, we have 2 times 3, which is 6. All right, so we have x equals 6. We can plug that back in with 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3, which is 2. 2 plus 7 does equal 9. All right, so we see again that works right there. Check. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what we're going to have you guys do now is finish the rest of these on your own. We're going to end up putting you guys in groups, and you guys are going to figure these out. But just be careful on this. This one looks like it's reversed, but it's actually the same thing, right? We can actually rewrite this problem if I wanted to and write it as 6x minus 1 equals 11. Okay, that means the same thing as 11 equals 6x minus 1. So we'll still add our 1 over here and then divide by 6. Over here, we are going to then subtract 2 from both sides, right? And then careful, this is negative 2 times x, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. All right. So yeah, remember, these are division. This is division. This is just decimals, treated the same way, just has little decimals. Again, we have division here, so just subtract your 9 and then divide. But yeah, give these ones a shot, and we'll have you guys pair off in groups, and we'll see how you guys do on these for your homework. So if you have any questions, make sure you guys email Miss Neferai, and we can meet up during one of your free periods. All right, guys, have a good one.